Good evening, book lovers. Welcome to another episode of Cath-Lit Live. Did I say that right? Welcome to another episode of Cath-Lit Live. I think I said it right. Why did I pick a name that's so tricky? I don't know. But welcome. I'm your host, Amy Cattapan, pen name AJ Cattapan. If you are new to Cath-Lit Live, what we do here is brief little interviews with members of the Catholic Writers Guild who have new releases coming out. And today we have a little change in our lineup. We were originally scheduled to talk with Cathy Gilmore, the author of Wisdom Finds a Way, but we're going to get the illustrator of the book instead. And I'm really excited because we've already talked with two picture book authors so far on Cath-Lit Live. This is only episode number 5, and we've had 2 picture books already. This is our 3rd one, but this time we're talking to an illustrator for the first time. So let me tell you about who our guest is today. Her name is Jeanie Egolf. She is a retired physician turned homeschooling mom, author, illustrator, and publisher. She has written 4 of her own books, plus served as an illustrator, designer, and art director for almost 100 books and projects since 2009. That's the year she sold her internal medicine practice to stay home with her children. Jeanie is also a catechist at St. Patrick Parish. Her family enjoys playing music, sports, and rescuing various animals. Please welcome to the show, Jeanie Egolf.
That is so incredibly fun. I love the audience.
They're great, aren't they? They're always so responsive and dependable.
Yes, they are. I love it. Hey guys.
Well,
sorry about the change up tonight. Yeah. Here I am instead.
It's wonderful, and you've got us ready clearly for the Christmas season there behind you.
Yeah. Oh yes, we're also excited for Christmas this year.
Yes. All right. So tell us about this book that you worked on with Cathy Gilmore called Wisdom Finds a Way. Give us a little elevator pitch.
So I'm standing in for Cathy today. I'm going to tell you a little bit today about her latest book, which is called Wisdom Finds a Way. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this book. we are all so excited about it. This is another virtue book. This time we're going to talk about the virtue of wisdom. We'll tell you more about the whole series, of course, later. But this is so cute. It is a story of the nativity in a way you've never, ever read your children before. It's from the camel's point of view, one of the camels, okay? So it's King Balthazar's camel named Amel, and he is going to tell about his journey all the way to Jerusalem. He sees Herod, right? And then eventually they make it to the little stable and he meets the Christ child. And I got goosebumps. I just got goosebumps.
So tell us about how this is part of this whole series. The series is called Tiny Virtue Heroes. How does it into that?
Okay, so Miss Cathy Gilmore, as most of you guys already know, is she writes a lot. Right? So she's actually got she's already a published author, right? But now, in this latest series that she's got, Virtue Heroes, she's got 35 stories lined up. 35, you heard me, 35, ladies and gentlemen, insane. But this is Cathy Gilmore we're talking about, right? She can do it.
She goes big or she goes home, and she goes big.
Kidding, right? The first time she told me about this, I think I just hung up the phone. It just said, that lady is nuts. No, but that's what we need, right? We need people like her to think big. So 35 books, 1 for each virtue. You're teaching young children, very young, I mean preschool to maybe 3rd grade, about virtues. Each story is a virtue. Each story has an animal character who is a virtue, who's looking up to a virtue hero and learning about that virtue, okay? The first 20 also incorporate mysteries of the rosary, believe it or not.
Nice.
Like how someone can combine virtue stories and rosaries. Yeah, so that's what this is. So we're on book 3 of this. Her first one was A Mouse and a Miracle that came out earlier this year, and that was about the virtue of humility and the Annunciation. So now we're to the Nativity, and we're talking about talking about wisdom. Does that make sense?
That's in the title, Wisdom Finds a Way. I kind of guessed from the title of that one, which virtue you guys were covering. So you're the illustrator. You do the artwork. Can you tell us about your process? You got some drawings, I think, behind you.
I do. So we are going to have to change up the interview a little bit, right, Mrs. Cattapan? Okay.
Yeah.
Cath-Lit would tell you, of course, more about her genius writing process. All I can do is like draw pictures. Just draw the pictures.
So she's writing it first, and then you read her manuscript and you come up with the pictures for it. Does she give you suggestions for pictures?
She sometimes does, but she likes my ability to storyboard. That's kind of one of my little fun things. I love to write so if you, it's like some people have seen my other books, I like to write an extra story in there that's not really in the words so much. So, but oh my gosh. Remember I mentioned the 35, right?
Yeah.
So that means 35 characters. So about the time we're designing this little mouse, Moshe, for A Mouse and a Miracle, we go, maybe we need to go ahead and design all 35 characters before we launch the series. Okay, for some reason that sounded reasonable at the time, but you know, anyway, long story short, I think if I go like this, you can there's a list of like 35 animal characters there, each one representing a virtue. And again, Kathy's ideas, I mean, I just tried to channel Kathy Gilmore and just, you know, draw for her. So yeah, each book, you know, gets its own storyboard, and yeah, I guess.
And then it grows from there. Beautiful. Okay, now explain again why this is number 3, and we heard about number 1, A Mouse and a Miracle. Where's book number 2?
Okay, so that's a marketing strategy, right? Gildies, we gotta work. So, yeah, and that's also called Jeanie just can't draw any faster strategy, okay? Because like we had Mouse and a Miracle come out, which of course is our beautiful Annunciation story, and you know, and then we're all set to do our story, The Visitation, and we're like, oh, Christmas is coming. We should probably go ahead and get our nativity story in, right? So yeah, that's what we did. And there was another reason, you know, just all the circumstances going on this year. The hero of this book is an African American. We wanted to celebrate that with all the tension throughout this entire 2020. So we thought, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna release book number 1. And then we're going to release book number 3. And then maybe we'll get to number 2 next year in 2021. Does that make sense?
Yes, and we'll keep an eye out for book number 2 in 2021. So in the meantime, where can people find out more about your books, both book 1 and book 3, from you and Kathy Gilmore?
So you can always look at my website. That's www.perpetuallightpublishing.com. But, you know, I'm just going to refer you from my website directly to Kathy's gig, and hers is virtueheroes.com. So you can learn about all 35 of those virtue heroes on Kathy's site. Does that sound okay?
That sounds great. So virtueheroes.com, you can get everything on that, and then also your publishing site, Perpetual Light Publishing, which is running down at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jeanie. I was so glad to talk with you. I'm sorry we weren't able to talk with Kathy, but I'm really excited to have an illustrator on.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be your first illustrator on the show.
Yeah. It's a special badge. You should get a sticker or something.
Yes, we'll do that. Oh, I guess I can design that.
In all your spare time.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeanie. Everyone wave goodbye to Jeanie.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Later.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on another episode of Cath-Lit Live. Again, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel if that's where you are watching this. I can do more things and bring you more author interviews if I reach a certain level on YouTube. So if you're not watching this on YouTube, please head on over and hit the subscribe button on my channel. Please share this interview with anyone you know who is looking for a children's picture book that promotes virtue. Like I said, this is the third children's picture book I talked about. Don't go telling me you don't know any Catholic children's picture books. If you have a little one to buy some Christmas gifts for, there are plenty of options out there. Go watch the other interviews in this playlist as well. Until next time, everybody, happy reading.